Are going to be a little serious about this. This is important. We're going to talk about healing from divorce from a narcissist. And I wanted to just make it feel a little more conversational, a little more just you and me sit back, grab something comfortable to drink. I got my coffee mug full of water, and let's dig in. Healing from divorce from a narcissist is a big, messy conversation. The simple truth is, you get your divorce finalized, you feel like you're free. You're like, finally, I'm away from that crazy person. And then the phone rings. And then the emails and the text messages start. And there's issues with visitation. There's issues with child support. There's issues with just so many circumstances. And you start to feel the anxiety and the tension start to build up inside of you. I've seen this time and time and time again in all the dad groups that I admin and I volunteer in. Dads that are struggling, dads that are on the edge, dads that are just overwhelmed and they feel alone and isolated, doubting themselves. And it doesn't have to be that way. And you are not alone. So I put this together to help you. Let's have an important conversation and let's really dig in on what's going on and what you can do about it today. So the key is, first, we've got to realize one simple thing. You cannot control the behavior of other people. You can't make their decisions for them. You can't change them. But what you can change, what you can control, is your reaction and your guidelines, your boundaries. That's the only thing you can limit. And when somebody is showing you their character, believe them. If this ex of yours is making things up, manipulating things, saying things that aren't true, then you know where they are. And it's not your job to fix them. It's not your job to heal them. It's not your job to save them. It's your job not to get caught up in it and drowned, especially when you have kids involved. So now the next thing to think about is the power of labels, right? In today's world right now, disassociated, narcissist, these things are thrown around. They're thrown as judgments and as weapons. And there actually is a condition called a narcissistic personality disorder. There is a DSVM definition of it and a set of criteria. It's a psychological definition. The thing we want to take away from this is realize when we label the other person and say, oh, they're a narcissist, this isn't to justify, it's not to make it okay. It's to understand the nature of the situation. Somebody who is not necessarily a narcissist, but narcissistic, overinflated sense of self-importance. They expect special treatment, that their life and their priorities are so much more important than everyone else. And there's going to be times, especially when you have kids, your kids are going to fall into the narrative of that narcissistic parent. They are going to maybe be weaponized against you, and at times that can be soul-crushing. But it does not last, because eventually that narcissistic parent, they're going to turn on their kids, and the kids are going to see it for themselves. They're going to get gaslit. They're going to get manipulated and taken advantage of. So you're not alone. You're not crazy. And just be careful with the labels so that you don't take away your own ability to choose and your own ability to influence the situation. Now, with a narcissist, there is no amicable divorce. There is no real freedom because they're going to keep coming back at you. The biggest thing is their ego and their sense of themselves. And they've been embarrassed to not have you under their control or have you under their thumb. So you become the enemy. That means they're going to weaponize everything they possibly can. Conversations, references, plans. If they can know what's going on with you and they can interrupt it, they can get that power trip. So your first line of protection, limit your exposure to them, your social time with them, your conversation with them, and try to have as much communication documented as possible. If they randomly text you and you're using a software like Our Family Wizard, make them go back to the wizard and say, I can't communicate to you like this, it's got to be here. Take screen captures of their communication, take screen captures of their manipulation, have other people be involved in conversations so that you can tie them down, because then you have outside proof you're not crazy, because you're not crazy. They lie and they obfuscate and they change things all the freaking time. So, now, this is an important topic, and this is a difficult conversation because for a lot of men, we're the protectors, we're the providers. We have a lot of pride in who we are. We define ourselves in what we do. And to have our divorce, have our relationship, our marriage taken away, our children being manipulated against us, like I said earlier, it is soul crushing. It is so hard because you feel so isolated, which is what the narcissist wants. I had a client and their relationship was horrible. There was a lot of mental, emotional abuse, withholding, gaslighting, manipulation, saying things that weren't true. She was doing a lot to erode his confidence in himself. And this guy had a heart of gold. He was trying so hard to provide. He was working 2 jobs while she did nothing at home. And to make matters worse, she was physically abusive to him. She didn't hit the kids, but when the kids weren't around, she'd push him, she'd shove him, she'd yell at him, she'd throw things at him. It got to the point, one day they were arguing about something and he was behind her, and she turned and threw an elbow into his nose and broke his nose. And that was when he was like, I can't live like this anymore. And he started researching, and that's how we crossed paths. And it's the craziest thing, because this guy's a big dude. Like, he's like 6'4", and you would think, you know, big, strong guy, tall, he wouldn't be afraid of anything, but he was jumping at shadows because he had been henpecked and corralled and emasculated for years and years and years. His confidence was gone at home and with his kids. In his career, he was crushing it, but he knew inside there was this internal decay. And he was really struggling. Should I even go on? Is it even worth fighting? Because nobody believes me. But I believed him. I reached out and I said, look, dude, this situation you're in, this is a pattern. This happens all the time for a lot of men in a lot of bad situations. These guys have hearts of gold, and they don't deserve to be treated this way. So we made a plan how he was going to take the kids, and he was going to relocate and leave her without her knowing what was happening. And we actually had to isolate him away from her for a couple of weeks while he got himself situated, because she went crazy. She was messaging everybody they knew. She was calling everybody that they knew, trying to get tabs on him. And only a few key people in his life knew what was going on and where he was for his own safety. And that's so against the script. It's so not normal that a guy is going to hide from his wife and going to divorce her because I fear for my safety. But it happens. And I want you to know, if this is a situation you're facing, you are not alone. You are not less of a man for sacrificing yourself and making yourself play smaller to try to take care of other people and support them. That's actually a testament to how loving you are and how amazing you are. And you need to get out of this situation so that you can heal and really become the man you always have been. But you picked a partner who tore you apart for whatever reasons. So I want to encourage you. And hey guys, before I get to the last couple of points that I want to share with you, please give me a like if you enjoy these kinds of stories as I'm sharing some of the work that I've done with my clients. It really helps me out to know what works for you. The last thing you need to do as you're processing how to heal from a divorce from a narcissistic ex, you don't want to go alone. You want to get support. Because the guy that I mentioned, if he had done this by himself, he probably would have killed himself. Because he didn't know what else to do. He didn't know where else to turn. He was exhausted. He was defeated. And he felt worthless, worth less, not worth defending anymore, not worth fighting anymore. We helped him to rebuild his confidence and realize he's the only person best qualified to raise his kids and protect them from his narcissistic ex. So for you, the last thing is get a community. Get people around you who have been through similar things and other challenges, and you guys can support and coach each other. You can reinforce each other to what your real strengths are and who you really are. And the last piece is, besides getting support from a group of guys, get somebody in your corner who is an expert on mental and emotional strategies that can help you to heal the wounds and resolve your past so that you are solid and you can move forward with a laughing heart and be able to relax even with a crazy ex that's narcissistic. And for that, I got you covered. All you need to do, if you want to have a conversation, is just look out down below. There's an application. Hit the link. Apply. We'll grab 15 minutes to dig in on your situation. And I'll be able to drive you to some resources and some references. Once I know what your situation is, it's what I love to do. And it's my biggest value that I can add, just so that you know you're seen and you're heard, you're understood. And I appreciate you for taking the time to watch this video and dig in on these important conversations. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Turn on the bell for notifications so you'll get the next clip coming out on Friday. You make it a fantastic day, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye.